He added a drawing of a human hugging a wolf to his X post. I agree that we should treat animals with great caution because it is not easy to understand how they feel, especially when we do not know them well. But it is an overreaction to infer from this that having sex with animals is wrong. So basically what he's saying is, if you can hug a dog, how can you actually understand, like, how could you know that hugging a dog isn't bad too? You know, like if you can like let your dog lick your mouth like white women do, then how do you know that's not sexual harassment?
What's poppin', everybody?
Welcome back to the Cold Podcast.
I'm Zoe.
And I'm Steve.
All right, and today we're going to be looking at the words of a Princeton animal rights professor who made the claim that, or believes that bestiality is actually morally permissible.
Yeah, this guy is insane. Just let's get that out right in the front.
Off the top.
Basically, he published an article that argues that zoophilia is morally permissible. And he actually called this piece thought-provoking. He urged his followers to read and ponder it. And he said that it challenges one of society's strongest taboos and argues for the moral permissibility of some form of sexual contact between humans and animals. Yeah. So I would agree with him in the sense that this is one of society's strongest taboos, having sex with animals.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have a strong point of contention with having sex with animals. I would agree.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not good. But I wonder what his argument is.
Yeah, let's hear him out. Maybe he raised some good points.
Yeah, so can you scroll down a little bit, Harm, on the text? So basically it says, the paper states, moreover, it is unclear why this argument should apply only to sex. Oh, actually, no, scroll up a little bit.
See what he's saying.
This article offers a controversial perspective that calls for a serious and open discussion on animal ethics and sex ethics. He added a drawing of a human hugging a wolf to his X post, noting that it was generated by OpenAI's DALL-E. Okay, so it is unclear why this argument would apply only to sex. If the risk of harm is high enough when having sex with them, would it not be, scroll down?
Yep, scroll it up.
Would it not be high enough too when engaging in other kinds of interactions with them? I agree that we should treat animals with great caution because it is not easy to understand how they feel, especially when we do not know them well. But it is an overreaction to infer from this that having sex with animals is wrong. So basically what he's saying is, if you can hug a dog, how can you actually understand, like, how could you know that hugging a dog isn't bad too? You know, like if you can like let your dog lick your mouth like white women do, then how do you know that's not sexual harassment? So he's basically saying like, because anything could be conceived as bestiality, why not just have sex with animals too?
Oh, okay. So basically because he's like, because we can't necessarily judge the morality of our acts upon our pets from even the smallest scale, then technically it's like we can't judge morality in general, therefore nothing is immoral.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually saw an argument from this guy. He basically said something along the lines of, well, so if you had a dog and you could put the dog down or you could keep it alive and have sex with it, which one would be more morally permissible? Right?
Wait. Kill the dog or keep it alive and have sex? Is there any option in there that says not have sex with the dog and keep it alive?
Well, basically, so his point was basically like, so you treat the dog well, you're nice to him, you give him treats, you feed him.
Like a date.
Yeah.
Like a date.
You wine and dine this pup. But basically, like, that was his argument. Like, you treat the dog like a good date. Yeah, but then you get something out of it too.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
And he was saying, is that morally wrong? Because you're taking care of all of the other dog's needs apart from its need not to be, had sex with, I guess.
Okay. It's weird because it's like he has like this, it seems like he's stuck on this idea of like humanizing the dog, like how we treat a dog. He's trying to like, well, if you treat a person like this, there would be like sexual expectations, but it's like, but we're not trying to have sex with animals, are we?
Yeah.
Like he is. He probably is. He's probably
tried it. He's probably dabbled at the very least.
That's actually crazy.
He had to.
Yeah, no, he basically, so with that argument, I don't really know like how he feel. Like, how could you be a professor anywhere? And how could you claim that you're a professor in animal rights?
Yeah.
When this is something that you're claiming.
Because I would definitely have to ask, like, because he's an animal rights, so I would assume like if you have the title of animal rights, like, activist, you would be like against like that idea. Because even if you like broke it down, it's not like an animal could consent to that type of activity.
Exactly. Yeah.
So like, you're saying that, it's not, you can't morally judge it, but at the same time, if you're about animal rights, shouldn't the animal have the right to not, just be, because he's basically saying that you have unilateral control over this animal's life because you take care of it. Therefore, you should be able to do whatever to it, or at least that it's like morally gray enough for it to be allowed. But I would assume that being an animal rights person, he'd be completely against that.
I wonder what his take would be on like factory farming or like just slaughtering animals in general for food. Like he might even be a vegan. Like what if he was a vegan and he was talking about this?
I could see him like honestly using that as a crutch to support his argument, where it's like, well, we kill and eat animals, so what makes that any like having sex with them any worse? Like I can feel that. I see that being like a support to the argument for him.
But if you think about it, it's almost like if you were a prisoner of war and they were like, oh, we're gonna kill you or sexually abuse you. It's like, well, one of those things is almost like acceptable by like UN standards. Like, okay, just kill them. Don't like, have sex with them too. Like that's kind of crazy. Like you don't do stuff like that because it's inhumane. But like I feel like just executing a prisoner is sort of normalized to an extent.
I think both of them are technically would be categorized as inhumane. Like I think but I think like the act of war itself is inhumane, and you know how they say like there's no rules in love and war. I think that's just like a thing where it's probably more logical to kill. Like I think that's like a decision of logic where it's like, well, you serve no purpose, but if you had like a group that's like wanted to basically sexually assault or like pretty much enslave and strip the human rights away from prisoners, it'd probably be viewed as the same thing. Just like, oh, we have like prisoners who are being treated inhumanely. I don't think there's going to be like a scale to judge which is better. I think it's just all like, hey, you're a prisoner of war. Like innately you're basically signing away your rights at that point. So I don't think it's like a scale for that. I think it's just all of it's just bad, but it's acceptable because it's war.
Well, yes, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree because I feel like, if they were having sex with the prisoners, that's just like that seems worse.
Well, that's like, in other countries, that's like one of the reasons why people don't want like female like soldiers or like that, why that's still a thing upheld in other countries, because if you do have like a female soldier that's prisoner of war, that's like a likely outcome for like, it's like back in the day, or even like, I would say like cultures that are like less concerned with like human rights.
Well, if you think about it like this, a lot of soldiers when they join the military, they'll say like, I'm willing to die for my country. But how many are willing to like, get piped for their
get sodomized for it?
Yeah.
I mean, hey man, I think once you sign the I'm willing to die for my country, you're signing up for anything that like scores above it too. Anything between life and death, you're basically signing on for. Like, yeah, well, you know what? Because I mean, you don't really gotta say it. It's not like I could be, vouching, to the grand whatever of I don't know, let's say Afghanistan, and be like, hey, like, listen, guys, you caught me, I was kind of messing around, you got me, but like, can we not like do the sodomy stuff? Like, I don't think there's any appeal for that. I think it's just like, listen, buddy, you're in a cage. We're gonna do what we want to you.
Oh man, oddly appropriate soundbite. So I guess that's pretty much all we have to say about bestiality with this Princeton guy. I mean, he's probably not going to get fired, but they're saying he probably should.
They don't. That's amazing.
Yeah. I think it's just, I don't know, because like my thing is too is like, is he actually advocate? Because I think there's a difference between advocating and just like pointing out like
posing the question,
like moral nuances. So it's like, is he advocating like, yes, I think people should have sex with animals and I too want to? Or is he just saying like, hey guys, if we really break this down, there really isn't anything morally like, by our own standards, there isn't anything like that's morally unpermissible about the act of bestiality. Like, if that's what he's saying, I think that could be like a good thought question. I mean, but if he's advocating for it, then, in the sense of the word or like the idea, like you could think about it.
So I'll go rescue Zoe's cat.
If he had,
I fucking knew it. I told you guys.
Oh my God.
To me, it's only some sort of logical like statement if he's like mentally insane. Like that's the only acceptable like.
I am trying to give the benefit of the doubt to the idea of like, okay, can this be something that could be questioned? Anything could be questioned. That's all I'm saying.
No, that's true.
Anything could be questioned. I want to know, is he advocating for it or is he just asking the question to see?
Is this like Mythbusters? The fuck, man? Why do we have to find out if it's possible?
I'm just looking for conversation.
I don't know.
We haven't seen 70% of our own ocean. We don't need to know these things.
If our morals were that grounded, we would have no problem being able to answer the question.
I don't know. He did specifically
way more questions.
He did specifically specifically say in the article, it is an overreaction to infer that having sex with animals is wrong. So
Okay.
Right. So he is clearly insane.
yeah,
He's like,
That is a
but
little- that
I
is a little
still
crazy.
gotta find out what you guys think on this
Yeah.
as a professor. And everyone at lunch is like, what the hell?
Maybe
did
he's
this
just
guy
going
say?
going crazy. Maybe he's just has dementia. He's getting a bit schizophrenic or something.
I'm just saying, morally, it checks out. That's what.
Yeah.
That's kind of what he
checks
gave everyone like that speech at lunch, and they were just like, "What the hell, dude?"
people's
Yeah.
dogs are going missing all over the office and shit.
Princeton
Yeah.
professors are they got a real fucking little bar for them.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
I like it's funny though. Like I'll say this, it's kind of weird that it's like I feel like most people would start this like idea off at like, okay, having sex with animals is probably wrong, but like he's starting at like, well, having sex with animals is probably okay, but like let's figure out like morally by our standards, does it check out? It's like that. I think that's like an odd stance to start from.
Yeah,
It's like wait,
Mythbusters mentality, man.
yeah.
he's just trying to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, he's just trying to figure out. I think it's like he's trying to like
solve his
find like the
mystery.
line, like okay, but how intimate can I be with my dog? It seems like he's
Yeah.
trying to do that.
Yeah, no, which is like a really weird take.
Yeah.
What's that thing with the peanut butter I just did? Weird.
intimate
Was it
can
bad?
I-
On a
It
scale
sounds,
of 1
it
to
sounds
10?
like he experimented a little bit, and now he's like, oh man, he's having a little guilt. He's going back to it, like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Look at that face.
Maybe he thought his dog was Scooby Doo, and then like he
Gave him a
had great
little
Scooby
Scooby-
loved it or something.
Gave him a Scooby snack.
Yeah.
He was into it ever since.
But yeah, from what I'm understanding of his reasoning though, the logic doesn't actually check out to me either, because it's like. Because this thing is like, if you can pet a dog and kiss a dog and stuff like that, why can't you just have sex with it? I'm just like, I feel like I don't understand how he doesn't see the line.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Maybe he has a dog and he imagined it's Scooby Doo, like it's talking, like Martha.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or like maybe he's actually a furry. Like he could just be a furry,
Yeah.
and like he's
hallucinating.
like
It's
trying
like-
to find the line.
I'm actually a wolf when I'm not a professor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys don't know that.
He believes in reincarnation. He
But
was like,
AI called it.
I was
He's a
born wolf.
werephile.
A werefile.
Yeah, a
I keep
werephile.
my suit in my trunk of my Volvo.
Oh man. I wonder if he has pets though. That's what's scaring me. Like, does he have pets?
Hopefully
Yeah,
not.
I guarantee
Two
he has
Siamese
pets.
cats.
He probably has a bird that he fucks.
He fucks his alligator. He
Oh,
fucks
God.
2 of his fishes, the only ones that can take it.
Yeah.
That's
All right, let's close this out, man. Let's get out of here. You can find all of the Code Podcast clips and social media posts on all social media platforms at The Code Podcast. We're also available on audio and video platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, anywhere you find audio or video. Also on Patreon, $5 a month. Find The Code Podcast, and you can get access to all of our exclusive content, including the My Black Friends podcast, which includes about 80 episodes of hilarious content, and we'll be making more soon. There's also 30 episodes of My Black Friends available on this channel, so if you want a little sample, you want to see some of it, just go to our channel, search about, a couple maybe months back, and you can start watching some My Black Friends immediately. Thanks for popping in. We got to pop out of here.
All right. Peace.